Hello, everyone. I hope all of you had a good holiday with friends and family. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. I'm using OBS today. I actually prefer OBS over StreamYard. StreamYard's obviously a lot easier. It's just one click. But for whatever reason, I'm having microphone issues when using StreamYard. Hopefully, that's the case and it's not my microphone. So, we'll find out here in a second. Okay, good. My chat's showing up. Perfect, because it didn't show up last time. Hello, Matt. Thank you for coming over to YouTube from DLive. I know. I hear you. But it's just something I gotta do. So I really appreciate you doing that and being here. Hello, Kelsey. Hey, Tech, aka Abnorm. Wolfie. 5x5. Great. Awesome. Super. Okay. So, Shani, my love, thank you for being here. Of course. Can't forget my Shan. So, as the title says, we are going to be talking about the Summer Wells case. I really don't want to talk about it, but it seems like it's just not going to go away. And I know that sounds terrible, but if you guys have been following my channel for a while, you'll know how I feel about the majority of these high-profile tragic events like the missing persons cases and these murder cases. So it will make sense. If you're new to my channel, I pretty much am a conspiracy theorist, I guess you could call me, which I have no problem being called a conspiracy theorist, but I truly believe that the mainstream media and our government are orchestrating a lot of these tragic events in order to sway opinions of the public, to distract, as well as many other reasons. So that's a little bit of what I cover here on YouTube as far as like true crime goes. Hey, Antoine. Are Donna and Haggis here? I didn't see them. If they're here, hello. I don't see them though. I think you're messing around with me, Tech. All right. Making burgers sounds wonderful. Burgers are always good. Okay, so there was, and I just did a live stream on here a couple days ago just to get caught up, let you guys know that I am alive, I'm okay. But I did take quite a bit of a break from YouTube. It got to be a little bit much with all these cases. So I was mainly streaming over on DLive. Hey, TH. Hello, Swamp Lover. Hey, Donna. There she is. So I did take a little break, but so that being said, I have not watched a lot of live streams as far as like the Watts case is still going strong. Not as strong as some of these other cases, but I just haven't spent a lot of time researching the Summer Wells case or any of these other live streams. So, but I did happen to catch a specific live stream yesterday. If you guys are not familiar with Voices Behind the Wall, share. I'm sure you are. I did stop there for a little bit. I have pretty much stayed away from there because, for the most part, my opinions in the true crime community are no longer welcome with the, majority of these channels. And a lot of these channels that I supported for a very long time have shut me out and censored me. So I went over there. I am no longer a moderator, which is kind of sad, just because simply I have nothing against Cher whatsoever, or Mr. Cher, again, aka Voices Behind the Wall. But the fact that, I'm unmodded simply because I have a difference of opinion than hers or Mr. Cher's is kind of disappointing. Again, I've always supported Cher and what she does, but again, that's her decision on not keeping me as a moderator. No big deal. I did have a few things to say in her live stream yesterday, and I wasn't censored, which is good. But then again, I don't stay long in the majority of these other channels. So, hey, Allison. Um, but I found her live stream yesterday very interesting, and that's what I'm gonna go over today. It's I it's the most recent one, like I said, that she did yesterday. So if you guys want to go check it out, I feel free to do so. I'm going to quote a lot of what was said in the live stream. And again, I just found it very, very interesting on what was talked about. Hey, new fish. Hey, TCA. Good to see you. So again, that's what I'm going to go over today. And then I'm going to play a couple of short news clips that I just happened to come across when I was looking for a video that was mentioned in the live stream yesterday. And let me know please, if my microphone is like crackling again or anything like that, or cutting out, or if there's buffering, please let me know. I don't know what I'll be able to do to fix it, but at least I'll know. So the title yesterday was WTF did Robin say at church? Robin seems to be like one of these, again, I don't know all the names. This case, the Summer Wells case, is such a clusterfuck. It's just one big giant circus, in my opinion. And it's very, very hard to keep up with all the chaos in it. And it's just, in my opinion, a huge distraction. And we're going to get into that a little bit. But hey, Cecile. Hey, Sky. But the title is, again, WTF did Robin say at this Sabbath church? They're all part of this church. A lot of people think there's some sort of cult involved with the church and whatnot. There very well maybe. But again, there's so many of those characteristics that I talk about all the time with these cases that they use over and over and over again. Like I pointed out with the Watts case and some of these other true crime cases, where they're hard to ignore. They use them. It's like an itinerary for them, or something like that. I don't know if that's the correct word, but regardless, they use these same characteristics. And I've been pointing these out since the Watts case for over 3 years now. I'm trying to get them stuck in your head so that you guys can look out for these characteristics in the future and be able to spot the ones that are real and which ones are fabricated, in my opinion. Hey, Haggis. And I will keep going over these characteristics over and over again. And the thing is they're not going to switch them up. As long as these orchestrated events, and I'm going to try to be careful what I say today a little bit again, simply because I did decide to apply for monetization on this channel. I know that I said I would never do that. Simply because that's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to make money. I'm here to wake people up to the deception that's been going on, and not just in true crime, but, and a lot of other mainstream media events that they're putting out. So, but I do take a lot of time to do these live streams and to upload videos like I used to. So, I did decide to do that. I don't know if I will be approved for monetization. It is in the process, but so we shall see. But again, I want to try to maybe not ruin that and try to keep it a little bit low key on the PSYOP wording and whatnot. So if I do sound like I don't make sense or I'm speaking in code, I do apologize for that. So I have some notes written down from the live stream that I'm going to go over right now. And yeah, Allison, it definitely, and that's what the thing with all these cases is, that I pointed out as well, is that nothing seems to add up. There seems to be so much transparency, and it's all out there from the mainstream media, but again, nothing ever seems to make sense or add up. We're always left with more questions than answers, regardless of how much news coverage or media coverage there is, or investigation from law enforcement. Thank you, Swamp Lover, for doing that. I appreciate that. Haggis, I didn't see your question. I'm sorry. Shan, did you just mute Haggis? Okay. I didn't see his question. I don't think I even want to know. But, okay. So, Cher, Voices Behind the Wall, starts out by saying that Robin, who is, again, a part of this Sabbath church that Candace and, God, I don't even know all the names. I this case is just so crazy. But the parents of Summer Wells go to or used to attend. But she's like the teacher or something, or the Sunday school teacher. Whatever the case may be, Robin is a huge part of the church that Summer Wells' parents and the majority of these people that are involved go to. So the whole stream revolves around how Robin mentioned at church recently that Summer Wells' toys had been cleaned. And she seems to have a problem with this because she's like, why, if this is an open investigation for Summer Wells, if there's still an open Amber Alert for this missing child, why is potential evidence being cleaned and tainted, pretty much? Like, why is the evidence being destroyed? And that I do agree with, as far as that goes with Cher. And I found that interesting because if you guys remember when I covered the Watts case, and I pointed out with a lot of these other orchestrated events that one of those red flags to look out for is when evidence is being destroyed. So if we take a look back at the Watts case, you have the crime scene that was, I think that what's the word I'm looking for? They released the crime scene. So the Watts home they released within just like 48 hours of, after Chris had pled guilty, pretty much, or confessed, I guess you could say. There was people that were allowed to walk in that home while there was still an ongoing investigation, whether it be friends, family, news crew, obviously law enforcement. No one was wearing gloves. So everything in that house was pretty much tainted from the beginning. All the potential evidence was tainted. You have Christopher Watts' truck, that was auctioned off while there was still an ongoing investigation just months before that. So pretty much everything was not done correctly as far as preserving evidence goes in the Watts case. And that's one of those red flags that I noticed about that case, is when evidence is going missing or being destroyed, look out for that. Another case that I pointed out where evidence was destroyed was in the Gabby Petito case, when I covered that case. Both the bodies of Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie, supposedly, right, that were found, were cremated. Stephen Paddock in the Las Vegas shooting was also another one where this is supposed to be the biggest mass shooting in United States history, where 58 people, allegedly died. And this man's body was cremated simply just a couple months after, and while there was still an ongoing investigation. So, hey, Uncle Badger. Hey, Thomas. So again, that's one of the red flags to look out for in these cases. Another one to look out for is these, the amount of media attention that these cases get over all of the other kids that go missing, out of all the people that are murdered all the time. I'm sure that there's cover-ups all the time. Yes, is murder real? Of course. Am I saying that everything that comes out of mainstream media is false or made up? No. But again, there's certain things that you can look out for in those characteristics in order to be able to tell which ones are real and which ones are fabricated, and if you're being duped. So again, I do agree with Cher on the fact that evidence should not be, if it's still an ongoing investigation. Again, I haven't been keeping up completely with it, but I just want to concentrate specifically on this one live stream that I did watch. So like I said, I do agree with Cher, Voices Behind the Wall, at the fact that why is Summer Wells' toys being cleaned when it's still an ongoing investigation, when it still could have potential evidence on those toys. So yes, is that a weird statement and something to mention from Robin, this teacher at this Sabbath church? Yes, I agree. Another thing that she mentions is that the house of the Wells, Summer Wells' parents, has been remodeled and redone. So now, everything that it could potentially be, if this child went missing, let's just hypothetically say that this case is real. Now that evidence in that house is gone, right? It's gone because they just cleaned the entire house, and they're using this excuse I saw in chat that in order to get the other children back from CPS, that was one thing that the Wells had to do, was to get the house cleaned up because it was in terrible condition. It just shit everywhere and just a very gross, not kept up house. Alyssa says, they never got one warrant in Summers' case to do forensics on their house or vehicles. They never seized any of them. This case, they never taped off their property. Exactly. Listen, that's the thing. Same thing with the Watts. The Watts house was never taped off. It was never sealed. It was never protected from, and again, like I said, all these people were allowed to literally walk into that house and just taint the entire house. In, out, in, out. And that's, again, another one of those red flags, is not only evidence being destroyed or tainted or going missing. Another one of the red flags is the lack of just complete investigation, or the lack of evidence that anybody even died. So, again, there's just those same characteristics they use all the time. And if you guys can remember them and look out for them, you will be able to spot which ones are fabricated and which are not. Okay, so I went over the house being cleaned and remodeled. Again, evidence being destroyed. Now, there's some of these that I'm going to quote specifically from Voices Behind the Wall Shares live stream. Why is there ever any blue flags? I don't know, Tech, because I like the color blue, but I guess red is just, that's their go-to. You guys are so funny. And honestly, I'm not even paying attention, Shan. I never pay attention to haggis anyway, so. Okay, so then Cher goes on to say, and then again, this is not anything against, like, Cher or Voices Behind the Wall, if you're not familiar with her channel. I just found it very interesting, a lot of the things that she was saying in her live stream, because she does not, and she even mentioned it in her live stream, she does not believe that this Summer Wells case is orchestrated, whereas I do. And a lot of these cases that I say, I'm not saying, I think they're orchestrated and I don't have any evidence to back it up, right? I think, in my opinion, I've provided enough evidence to support my theory and what I'm saying. So it's not like I'm just saying, again, it's fake news, it's fabricated, and then you're just supposed to believe me. No, that's not the case at all. So she goes on to say at the beginning of the live stream, law enforcement dropped the ball, and this is quoted, by the way. Law enforcement dropped the ball from day one by not providing a current pic of Summer Wells, or Summer. And I find that very interesting, because then, again, when with these orchestrated events, there's a lot of inconsistencies that you're going to find. And a lot of people make that believe that there's some sort of cover-up going on by the people that are involved with the missing child or the murder victim's family, or it's a straight cover-up by law enforcement. But in reality, in my opinion, it's actually just because it's orchestrated, and there's gonna be inconsistencies, no matter if it's planned. There's always going to be mistakes and inconsistencies. And I think that a lot of times too, it's meant that way. There's inconsistencies on purpose for a specific reason, and that's to confuse and to distract and just so that people are steered in the opposite direction of what's really going on. Hey, Pine Mountain. Hey, Carrie. And thanks everyone for being here. I really do appreciate it. So the fact that Cher says that, law enforcement didn't provide a current picture of Summer Wells is very interesting. Because if you're looking for a child who's missing, you're going to want the most recent current picture of her, right? To be able to spot her more easily. So why would law enforcement, again, and I agree with Cher on that as well, why would they provide a picture that's not current? And another thing that's interesting about these cases too is do any one of us, do we know Summer Wells? Do we know the family? Have we ever seen Summer Wells in person? How do we know that any of these images, any of these videos that they put out of this missing child, how do we know that those weren't from years ago or a few years ago? Summer Wells could be 10 years old for all we know. I mean, if you really think about it, some people might think that's crazy and conspiratorial, but if you really think about it, how do we know? There's no timestamps on all her pictures. We only get a select few pictures. We don't know them. I never met Summer Wells. I don't even know if, I'm not going to say I don't know if she exists, but the fact is that it's so there's just so many easy ways to fool the masses with just simple pictures, right? How do we know that she is even still that age at this time, just based off of pictures with no timestamps? And even if there were timestamps, you can easily add timestamps on the videos with video editing and whatnot. It's with technology these days, it's so very easy to fool people in that way. But people don't think about that because why would they, right? Why would they think that Summer Wells might not even be that age right now? Those could have been old pictures for all we know. They're telling a story to us, and people are just simply believing it. And no swamp over, I can't start over. Robin supposedly provided those pics. Okay, so she also goes to mention that she thought it was odd that the children at the church are always, or not always, but that they seem to be wearing red a lot. If you look at pictures that have been released in the Summer Wells case, you'll see a lot of red going on. And what do I always talk to you guys about and explain how, the ones that orchestrate these events, they love their symbolism. They love their meanings behind words and names, and especially their colors, their color combinations. In the Watts case, it was like purple. In other cases, it might be black and yellow. It just all depends. But red is very, very significant of an occult color. So there's also like Summer Wells wearing red shoes. They mention her. I'm not even going to get into the whole shoe thing because that's just too much right now. I don't want to go there. But I find it interesting. I will say that they seem to mention a lot that when Summer went missing, she wasn't wearing shoes. And shoes are another one of those. I will tell you, if you see random shoes in these cases that are high profile cases where the mainstream media is just, they get so much attention. If you're seeing a lot of shoes, that's one of those red flags. And it might seem silly, but you'll start to see it, and you're going to go, okay, wait a second. Why did Megan say that there's, to look out for shoes? And why are there so much random shoes everywhere? They're significant. I promise you. So then Cher goes on to say that she believes that people are paying each other to distract and tell lies with this case. And I find that significant again, because it's like, so people are paying each other. So she's pretty much, from what I can see and what she's saying, is that she's admitting that this case is a huge distraction. And if you guys have been following me, what do I say? That one of the motives behind these orchestrated events is distraction, distraction, distraction. Look over here. That's why you have all the mainstream media covering these cases so extensively over all the other, like I said, missing children, all the other murder cases, all the other cover-ups that are probably going on, right? There's corruption everywhere. But why is it that only certain cases get so much mainstream media attention? It's because it's for distraction. It's to sway the opinions of the masses and of the public. And not only are they doing it, but they can do it legally. And I don't know how many times I have to mention it, but I'll keep mentioning it. That Smith-Mundt Modernization Act of 2012 made it legal for the mainstream media and the U.S. government to push propaganda and lie to the public. So that means they can make up any news story they want. They can say that Abnorm was abducted by a UFO with all of his cats and his ducks, right? In his town, just to distract people. And so they go, oh my gosh, this poor guy In Canada, he was abducted by aliens, his cats, his family and his ducks, but we can't believe this. So we might have UFOs and aliens in our town, and so while everyone's distracted on that fake news story, right, that they're making up about Abnorm, it's a distraction, regardless of how small or how big it is. Maybe that's a bad example, but I'm just trying to make a point. So they can make up a news story like that, all the way up to a murder case like Chris Watts or the Gabby Petito case that had a ton of mainstream media coverage. I mean, you have Dog the Bounty Hunter covering it, right? You got the guy from FBI's Most Wanted, right? Totally pitching his show. It's like, well, if Dog the Bounty Hunter's on top of it, if he's going to find Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie, then this case must be real. No, they're actors. Why would anybody believe somebody that's an actor anyways? I don't know. But in the end, they're still actors. Even John Walsh. I couldn't remember his name. So again, I found that interesting about what Cher said. Now, there's a news clip, if you guys aren't familiar with it. Again, I'm going to bring up Robin here, who's the teacher at the church. 100% crisis actor, in my opinion. But there's a news clip. I probably should have pulled it up again. And again, I want to be careful of playing news clips simply because of the monetization thing. But hey, Vanessa, where she's very, like, so at the, let me explain a little bit. So Summer Wells is supposed to be missing at this point. She's being interviewed, and she's very bubbly, and you'll find that a lot with these actors is that they're saying one thing like, "Oh, I'm so sad. This poor child's missing," but their facial features are not matching what they're saying. So there you have the duper's delight. A lot of the times you'll have them wiping away tears, but there's no tears. So that's something to look out for. With these high profile events that I believe are orchestrated. But so Robin is going as Summer is supposed to be still missing, fairly new, right? She's saying, yeah, when Summer went missing, we all got together, we got backpacks together, and we packed lunches, and then we all went out and we all searched for Summer Wells. And she's just got this huge smile on her face, and it's like, what are you so excited about? What are you so, like, this child is missing. This child that's supposed to be close to you, like kind of like a daughter to you, right? Because she goes to your church all the time. Why are you talking about packing a backpack and going out and like it's like a school trip or something, right? Like, yeah, she's missing, and we got our lunch packed, and we got our yogurts, and we went out and we searched for Summer. Like, it's just not normal behavior that you would normally see from someone who is saddened by this child being missing, right? And does everybody act differently with death or tragedy? Yes, but again, look out for the repetitiveness of just the plain just duper's delight. She also goes on, Cher, to say that she believes that Robin might be an actress or an actor. So it's like Cher saying all these same things that I say about these cases, but yet she still is believing that, and this is 100% her opinion. Again, this is nothing against Cher. I'm just trying to make a point here, or a few points. She believes that Robin could very well be an actor. So, if it seems that way, if someone seems like an actor, then she probably is. Like, it's not too much to, like, maybe don't think about it or into it too much. Do you know what I mean? So, again, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it is a duck. So if she thinks she seems that Robin is an actress, she probably is. Like, why is she getting that feeling? But then she seems to, like, think, oh, well, I don't know. But again, do I believe that Robin is 100% an actress? Of course I do. And if you guys have been following my channel, you'll know why I think that. Because this case is orchestrated, in my opinion. As the other ones as well. So then Cher goes on to say, Voices Behind the Wall says she can't understand why this case doesn't make sense. How many times have we heard that with the Gabby Petito case, with the Chris Watts case, with these other true crime cases, and the Summer Wells case? I don't know how many times I've seen in chats people say nothing adds up, nothing makes sense. Why are there more questions than answers? It's done that way on purpose. That's one of those red flags to look out for with these orchestrated events. If nothing adds up and nothing makes sense, no matter how much transparency there is, if shit doesn't add up, it's that way for a reason. Again, it's to confuse people. It's to keep people distracted. Like, that's why this case is such a circus, because people are just like, wait, so then this person over here and that person over here, and then it's just one big, huge distraction. And that's just one of the motives behind all of it. Hey, Christy. So then Cher also goes on to say, and I quote, bunch of characters. Like, there are a bunch of characters in this case. That's weird, because that's, what I've been saying about a lot of these cases, is that they are characters. It's a stage. The world is a stage, you guys. So it's just very interesting to me that she's using words like that in her live stream, like actors, staged, characters. And then I quote, she says, seems like bad acting. Now, she mentions this driveway video, and I don't know if anybody's seen it, and if I don't know how you're going to drop the link, but I'll try to find the video. I haven't been able to find it. There wasn't a lot of information that she mentioned about it, but hey, Kyla. But I guess there was a driveway video where, like, Candace and Dawn were there, and it was at the bottom of the driveway, and she goes on to say that she's very surprised that that there were no police officers there. Did you lose me? I hope you didn't lose me. Yeah, and Molly Golightly, we're going to get into all that. TCA. Did OJ clean his toys? Tech. It's so funny. Okay. So again, she uses words like seems like bad acting. And with this video, this end of the, maybe Allison, you might know, or somebody else in chat, what she's referring to. I have not seen this video at the bottom of the driveway. So Mr. Cher and Cher are talking on the live stream saying how that they believe that entire video at the bottom of the driveway was staged, without a doubt. So again, we're using keywords like actor and staged and planned, So why do we keep hearing that in this case? And how many times does it have to happen, or do people have to think that until that's what it really is, right? Like, so again, I just find it very, very interesting. And then they go on to say, and I quote, that's because they knew there wasn't really going to be issues there. Kind of like with the Watts case. We heard, a lot of times people say that it was almost like they knew that Chris Watts was going to plead guilty. So they didn't have to do any investigative work. They didn't have to seal the house off to protect evidence, or do any actual like investigative work or forensic analysis of anything. It's almost like they knew that Chris Watts was going to plead guilty after only 4 hours of interrogation. That's weird. So again, when they use words like that, like they knew there wasn't going to be any issues there with this video. Again, I haven't seen the video, but I really don't honestly need to. I was going to play it for you guys, but I wasn't able to find it. So then she goes on to say this shit makes no sense from the very beginning. It's designed for failure from the very beginning. Again, the whole nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense. We need to go back to the beginning. Why do you think nothing makes sense? I've been telling you guys over and over again. It's that way for a reason. It's not supposed to make sense. Hey, Elizabeth. It's not supposed to make sense. That's why, even though, again, with as much mainstream media coverage there is, with as much transparency that they supposedly, like just in the Watts case, they released all of the document, like all the, you know, the case files or whatever. Why, if there's so much like documentation, everything, why does nothing add up? Why does nothing make sense? Why are there so many inconsistencies? Again, that's one of those red flags to look out for, and one of those characteristics to look out for in an orchestrated event. She goes on to say, I quote, designed for failure, designed to make money. Very interesting. I don't know. And you know, we have GoFundMes for the wells, cash apps being promoted for the wells, and it's really, really shitty, because if I'm right about these cases, then that means that these people are straight up con artists, and people are donating their hard-earned money to these con artists, like the Wells, like the Ruseks, like the Watts, like the Gabby Petito parents, right? And Brian Laundrie parents. Any of these family victims, right? These victims' family members who are claiming to also be victims. One, they're already duping everybody and lying to everybody. And then on top of that, they're taking people's money. Hard-earned money. And they think that they're actually donating to a good cause when really they're not. And that's one of the things that really pisses me off the most about these cases. Hey, Andrea. Hey, Meep Meep. Yeah, Meep Meep. Pretty much in a nutshell. I mean, we could probably end the stream right there just based off your comment. Yes. Oh, yeah. And you know, Candace Wells has a brand new set of teeth. And in my opinion, any story that is on Dr. Phil, I would be highly, highly suspicious of it. Again, Dr. Phil, regardless if he's a real doctor or not, he is an actor. He's there to entertain. Right? But then everyone's like, oh, well, if Dr. Phil says it's real, or if he says, then it must be. Hey, Bowser, good to see you. Thanks for being here. But if it's on Dr. Phil, it must be real. No, that's not the case at all. It's actually quite the opposite. Again, he is an entertainer. Just like Dog the Bounty Hunter is an entertainer. Just like John Walsh is an entertainer in the end. When it comes down to it, they are all entertainers. And Dr. Phil has these professional psychologists, right? And these doctors on his show. So, and who are people going to be more inclined to believe? Someone like myself or professionals that's on Dr. Phil's show, right? And they have people like Dr. Phil and the mainstream media to push that narrative out there and to sway opinions of as many people as possible. Because when you have an audience like that, it helps out a ton. So then Cher says, I quote, everything is a production. They are totally actors. So I'm just, I guess, very confused. Like, maybe, I don't understand. Like, so if why else would they be actors? Like, why would she think that they were actors? But then not even think that there might be a possibility that it could be orchestrated or that it could be a social experiment. So again, and that's why I wanted to do this live stream, because all of these key words that they're using on this stream are very, very interesting to me. So again, everything is a production. They are totally actors. Also using words like rehearsed, staged, scripted. And she goes on to mention that the news is always happens to just be there recording the interviews. So, and that's like pretty much the end of my bullet points. And there was more to the stream, but that's where I kind of left. But, I mean, that's quite a bit of interesting keywords in that just half of the stream, the live stream. So again, why are those keywords being used? But then no one's taking into consideration the fact that my theory might actually be a possibility. Well, not no one, but the majority of people in that live stream. I think I saw one person mention that it could be a social experiment. Every time I go into one of these live streams where there's like 300, 500 people in there, I'll always try to drop like these little, things here and there before I get censored or muted or timed out. But I always mention to people, and hopefully people will pick up on it and people will go and look this up. But again, I always mention the Smith-Munt Modernization Act of 2012. It explains everything, and it does support my theory on these cases because, again, they can, and I know I'm saying again a lot, but I feel like I have to repeat myself. They can legally, with no repercussions, lie to us, the mainstream media, that is, and the U.S. government. They were doing this way before that Smith-Munt Act. But now they can legally do it, no repercussions. It can't be traced back to them. They can legally lie and push propaganda onto U.S. citizens in order to sway opinions of the masses, to distract. Again, there's multiple motives behind these. It's not just one thing. They're not going to go through all this trouble to orchestrate these events to just potentially gain one thing. There's always going to be always multiple motives behind it. Walsh the laundry. Yeah, Christy. That's good. You got kicked out of 2 channels, TCA? Oh, wow. And that's the thing too, is a lot of these channel creators are claiming that they want justice for all these victims, and they want the truth out there, but yet there seems to be some sort of competition going on, or nobody wants to hear, the majority of people, they don't want to hear what I have to say or my opinions on the case. They don't want to hear that they could possibly be orchestrated, right? Because then that would mean that they would have to also admit that they were duped. And, nobody wants to, the majority of people don't want to admit that or know that. But on top of that, definitely don't want to admit that. But I'm trying to do this to prevent people from being duped in the future, because these aren't going to slow down. These mainstream media cases, these orchestrated events are going to continue to happen unless people wake up. Even if people wake up, they're still going to do it because they can legally do it. And I don't know how many times I can say that. But I guarantee you that in like these streams, like Shares and Jay is for Justice, out of the hundreds of people in their chats, when I mentioned the Smith-Munt Modernization Act of 2012, do you honestly think that many people went and researched it? Probably not. But if I can get a couple of people each time I go in there before I get timed out to look up that Smith-Munt Act, to show that it is a possibility that what I'm saying is true, then I'll keep doing it. Hey, June. So that's all I have on the bullet points for that particular live stream. Again, like I said, I did find a couple of videos here that I want to play. I really, really don't want to talk about these 2 individuals because I don't want to give them any publicity at all. But I think it's important, and I've mentioned these 2 several times, especially the one in particular. So here we go. Well, first let me start with this one. And I played this video before when I first started covering Summer Wells. But I want to show you guys again here. So this is one of the officers that were working on the Summer Wells case. But I want to show you guys again, even though I already have, because this is what they do. They love their symbolism. They love the meaning behind the names. How many times did I mention to you guys and make videos on the fact, or point out all the name Lees in the Watts case, and all the Nicole and Nicholases in the Watts case, and the meaning behind why there were so many in the Watts case? Because they're all about the names, symbolisms, colors, numbers, duality. Like, there's so much in these cases. Hey, Foxy Lady. Hope you had a good Christmas. Good to see you. Symbolism, symbolism, symbolism. And I know that's very conspiratorial for most, but how many times do certain things need to come up in numbers and shapes and all these triangles? How many times do they need to come up in these cases till it's not coincidental anymore? Until people start going, okay, that's a shit ton of triangles. That's a lot of Lees in this case. Why are there so many Nicoles? But if you just do a little research and you look into the meaning behind the names, then, you'll start to see that they're all about the symbolism. Wait, why was Pink Dahlia timed out? Wait, why was Foxy... Wait, why are so many people being timed out? Tech, what's going on? Okay, I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know why Tech is on a timeout kick right now. But, so again, look out for the symbolism in these cases. Huge characteristic and red flag. Hey, Broken Dishes. Hi, Cage. So I'm only going to play just a couple seconds of this. The main thing is to look at his name. That's what I'm pointing out.
From Tennessee, Ohio, Virginia, Alabama, Georgia, and North Carolina, assisting in these search efforts. Numerous specialized search and rescue groups and canine teams have been represented from these multiple different agencies. To date, we have estimated approximately 2,400 acres have been searched since Tuesday night when she was reported missing.
Okay, so this is obviously right at the beginning when she went missing. But the reason why I'm showing this is because of his name. And I look out for stuff like this in these cases. Hey, Tam, good to see you. So if you look up the meaning of coup, it's probably kind of hard to see, but I'll read it. A sudden, violent, and unlawful seizure of power from a government. A notable, and this is the important one, the second one. A notable or successful stroke or move. Synonyms being success, triumph, feat, successful maneuver, or stunt. They are literally putting in plain sight the fact that they are duping us. That they pulled off a magnificent stunt, right? That they're triumphing. Or triumphing, is that a word? That they triumphed over us. That's okay, Tech. I knew it was on accident. So a coup. So when I see this officer's name who's talking about Summer Wells being missing, and I see that his last name is Coop, knowing that they love their names and the meaning behind it, and they're hidden and sometimes not so hidden subliminal messages and symbolism, it just takes one search, right? One click search. Sometimes it takes a little bit more. Sometimes they're very, very obvious and right in our faces. But this is literally right in our faces. This guy's last name is Coop. Do you guys honestly think that that's just a coincidence? Now, I could see if it was just like, okay, his last name's Coop, and then there's no other inconsistencies in this case. There's no other red flags. There's none of the orchestrated event characteristics that I talk about all the time. And I just said, hey, I think that this case is orchestrated because this guy's last name that's covering the case, his last name is Coop. No, of course I wouldn't do that. I provide multiple evidence, more than one example of evidence a ton of evidence actually to support my theory on these cases. This is just one example, but I've already, covered a couple months ago all the symbolism in this case, or the majority of it. But I think it's important to bring it up again, since I'm doing a live stream on it. A notable or successful stroke or move. They are literally rubbing it in our faces that they have fooled us. Do you guys remember when I covered the Gabby Petito case and there was that picture of her with the sunglasses on, and I pointed out that it said fake in the reflection of her sunglasses? That is not coincidental. That is there on purpose. They are literally putting it right underneath our noses in plain sight, admitting that case was indeed fake. Hey, Tammy Ayo. So I was looking for the driveway video that I mentioned earlier, and I happened to come across this a few live streams ago when I covered the Gabby Petito case, and even with the Chris Watts case. I have pointed out the fact that this Jonathan Lee Riches that seems to appear in a lot of these orchestrated events that I've been pointing out, he just seems to pop up, and he's just an outstanding citizen, and he's doing such a great job for society and for these cases, these tragic cases. No. Jonathan Lee Riches is 100% a professional troll who inserts himself into these tragic events to confuse, to steer people in the opposite direction of what is really going on with these cases. And I've even warned other creators about this Jonathan Lee Riches, and they are still promoting him. They're still posting his tweets as if he's, again, doing such a great thing for these victims. No. With a little bit of research, people would see that he is 100% a professional troll. So why would they believe anything that comes out of that guy's mouth? Anything at all. But that's why it's so important, as cliche as it sounds and as cheesy as it sounds, to think for yourself and do your own research. If people would look up this guy, they wouldn't be fooled by him, but they don't. They listen to people like Jay is for Justice, who has had him on her channel multiple times, a professional troll, a professional fraudster. 900, sometimes 1,200 people in her chat, all believing everything that she's saying. Everything that this Jonathan Lee Riches professional troll is saying.
Alex, thank you very much. The lack of answer.
Hawkins County, Tennessee. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation and the Hawkins County Sheriff, Ronnie Lawson, have stressed the negative impact of online rumors and misinformation on the search investigation. But 4 social media sleuths, as they see themselves, with big followings, have come to our region in hopes of uncovering some clues that investigators may have missed. News Channel 11's Bianca Murray spoke with them.
The 4 have a combined following of over 2 million people. They say they came here for answers for both themselves and their ample audience.
I mean, it's been 6 months.
6 months.
6 months. And I don't want this girl to be a cold case.
Right, like a.
So here we go. Here he is again. Jonathan Lee Riches, professional troll, doing just an, outstanding. No. He's a fraud. A professional fraudster, a known fraudster, okay? He works for a tabloid company called Your Content, who is not, they're not a credible news source. They're a tabloid. Okay, you guys? The last thing I want to do is sway your opinions, but everything I'm saying is 100% true. Wikipedia, one search, Jonathan Lee Riches, professional troll. Several lawsuits against him. Okay? And yet this guy is being coined a hero when he is doing nothing beneficial for this case. Or any of these cases.
It's been 6 months and they still don't have answers.
So they are here.
Here on the right is Molly Golightly. If you guys are not familiar with Molly Golightly, she's an actress. She was on a reality TV show called Wife Swap. She's on social media. She covered the Watts case extensively, and she was friends with the family, and she's... Okay? This one on the left in the pink turtleneck, she popped up recently. I had one of my subscribers on YouTube send me her link, because now she's covering Summer Wells and this Gabby Petito. She's on TikTok. She has like over, they're going to tell you, but only like 1.2 million subscribers or something, or followers on TikTok. Hey, Purple. I don't know a lot about her, but when I did go into her live stream, her title of her live stream was pretty much clickbait, saying that there was police activity at the Wells house, and then 20 minutes into the live stream it's like, oh no, I guess it wasn't at the complete clickbait. I got of course timed out and kicked out of that stream as well. So
4 social media sleuths from around the country traveling here to Hawkins County to keep up awareness. Summer Wells is still missing.
Pressure breaks pipes.
They are social media influencers and investigators. Their goal is to make noise and get noticed. They say it brings attention to victims, but criticism to their tactics.
And any leverage I can use, whether I like what's coming out of my mouth, if it's leverage that I can pull people in, I will use it.
It's just creepy.
Olivia Vital has 1.2 million followers on TikTok.
It means that we can reach a large audience and bring exposure and spotlight to these cases. It really is about spotlight and bringing awareness, and with my account I'm able to do that.
They met while each individually covered the Gabby Petito murder investigation that gained national attention.
And the 4 of us came together as a group and put all of our talents and all our resources together, and we became a team, and we decided to come here for Summer Wells.
While in town, they say they met with the sheriff's office and surveyed the Wells property. They deliver any findings back to law enforcement.
This has opened up almost like a niche market for crime solving.
The idea is to keep spreading awareness. A finger touch to their phone starts their sometimes nightly conversations with their hungry for answers audience
Our mission.
who support them.
The footage will speak for itself.
So that's a super chat right there. Someone just donated $10. Thanks.
That $10 little by little adds up to pay for the means to work,
That is not helping.
which is what they say this is.
We're down in Florida, we're over in Utah, we're in Wyoming, we're now in Tennessee. This stuff costs real money, and this is a full-time job, and the only way we could afford to do something like this is by providing a service to the viewers, providing information they're getting no place else.
Those viewers trust what they pay for, and the reward for them is hope that Summer's case will be solved.
It gives me purpose, and I just feel like it's my duty to help bring justice to people that don't have a voice anymore.
The 4 say they gave local law enforcement a heads up before they came to town. They were granted an audience with investigators, Sheriff Ronnie Lawson, and asked for an interview but was denied. In Hawkins County, Bianca Murray, News Channel 11.
Well,
hey, Katie. So, like I said, Molly Golightly, and you see them popping up all over the place. Like there's being some outstanding citizen. They're getting super chats to pay for these trips. And what are they doing? What are they doing that's beneficial? What is beneficial about a professional troll going around and spreading disinformation about cases. Nothing. I want to read a couple of these comments underneath because thankfully some people did do their research on these two. Wow, these people are blood-sucking drama queens. Don't kid yourself. Much of the money they receive goes right in their own pockets. It's sickening the strife they actually cause the case each time they go out and do this crap. Real News can't get an interview with law enforcement, but Big Juicy from Wife Swap gets one. Either these four lied or law enforcement has their priorities screwed up. This poor little girl is their cash cow. How horrible. They are anything but investigators. When you make it clear you only care about the views on the last trip, don't expect people to think this time is different. 1, they're exploiting this poor child for money. 2, they're trespassing, which ruins clues that still may be there. 3, pointing their finger at everyone their eyes meet is a dangerous game. The fact that you guys didn't research these absolute cons is astounding and really gross. Don't give exploitative criminals praise on this case. I commented back and said I 100% agree. I don't care how much it costs for them to do it. I didn't ask them to do it, and I'm certainly not paying for them to do it. Most of all that gal Molly does is go around harassing people anyway. I don't pay people to harass people. Really great work fluffing up clout chasers who've done literally nothing to bring awareness to the public regarding Summer's disappearance and what can be done to bring about her whereabouts and only focus on the harassment of victims and their families. Did you guys happen to do anything investigating on Did you guys happen to do any investigating on Big Juicy and her content on this case before you provided her with the clout she was looking for? I want everyone to keep this baby's name out, but all this money making and drama and clout that's being made off this baby, I hope everyone gets in trouble. This is sickening to use this baby. That's scary having that convicted felon, who is Jonathan Lee Riches, who is currently on federal probation in that group. He tried to meet with another felon, and that's against his probation conditions. You should do a piece on him and the arrests the women have had. One was for trying to strangle somebody. It says Molly doesn't go anywhere lightly. So, I mean, you know, you guys get the point. Thankfully, like I said, that some of these individuals have done their research on these people. These individuals that are supposed to be doing something great for society. Again, look up Jonathan Lee Riches. He is 100% a professional troll fraudster. And yet they're being praised. These people are being praised as you know, outstanding citizens. It's disgusting. Pull the chat back up here. Hey, Spacebound. Oh, is Abnorm speaking to himself in third person? Uh-oh. They used to call you Big Juicy in high school? That's probably actually true. Big Juicy is Molly Golightly. Pink Dahlia. Yes, Molly is big juicy. Yeah, Orbital. How is it possible ours picked her out of all interested people? Yeah. In my opinion, these two, and as well as several other creators in the true crime community, are controlled opposition. They're there to put out a little bit of truth with a whole lot of disinformation in order to steer people in the opposite direction from what's really going on. Foxy, yeah, it does. The true crime community is crazy. I've learned that. But why just a few certain when there are so many? I don't know what you mean, Pink Dahlia. Hey, creatively crafted. I agree. This motley crew of 4 are milking YouTube, acting vile and professional. Oh, I could go on, but yeah, I 100% agree. And a lot of these channel creators too, they know that true crime, like the Watts case and the Summerwells case, they bring in a lot of views. Like, the true crime community is bigger than I think some people think. It's a very popular genre. So, them ever admitting that I would be somewhat right about these cases, that would completely take away all of their money, their super chats. What would they have to talk about if they agreed with my theories? Yeah, I am, Pink Dahlia. I really don't go in there much anymore because I feel like I still have to censor myself either way. So I just kind of, I don't go into many other live streams, to be honest with you. And if I do, I lurk. So Meet Me. Yeah, you would think so. You would think that it would start to wind down. But as I've said before with the Watts case and specifically, right when these cases seem to start to die down, something like some breaking news will come out, right? And it's not, notice how that the mainstream media is not covering this case anymore. Summerwells, hardly, right? It's just strictly to social media. But then nothing ever comes from this breaking news. How many times have we heard, oh, breaking news on the Watts case? Nothing has ever come from it. Ever. But it gets people stirred up again. Every time the Ruseks would show their faces on YouTube, it would get people stirred up again. I doubt that, Wild Fox. So, anyways, guys, I think I'm going to end that there. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I'm going to do these live streams more. I just don't want to go live if I don't have anything to contribute, or I just don't want you guys to have to hear me ramble about anything. But there is another case that I do want to check out. I can't remember the child's name, but of course it has the name Lee in it. The child does, right? So that piqued my interest right off the bat. So we'll see if that case blows up or not. If it does, I will definitely be covering it. Yeah, I still go to Melissa Jade's channel, yeah. Oh, thank you, TH. Yeah, very true. Creatively crafted. Yep. Yeah, that's it, Swamp Lover. I've been on for, I don't know how long I've been on for, but again, everyone, thank you for being here. If you're not following me on D Live, I highly encourage you to follow me over there. I'm able to talk about and show more videos, many more videos than I can over here about, other events, not just true crime that I believe are orchestrated, government corruption, mainstream media, fake news, you name it. I can play music videos over there. It's the possibilities on D Live right now are endless. So I highly again encourage you guys to follow me on D Live. I will put unless one of my moderators can do that for me, please consider following me over there. It only takes a couple minutes to sign up. It's a great platform. There's a lot of other great streamers over there that you can check out in my about section that I recommend. So if you're not following me over on D Live, please do consider that. And I will see you guys again soon. And as cheesy as it sounds, please think for yourself and do the research. Look up these people that are claiming to be good citizens and claiming things as factual when it only takes just a couple minutes to do some research on it and find out if they are indeed credible. So thank you again, everyone, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you, Swamp Lover.